Hi, welcome to HATV. I'm Paul Malkmus.
I'm Ann Malkmus.
And we're here with another exciting episode of how to prepare foods for our kids.
In this case, we're going to talk about what can we put in the lunchbox. It's that time of year again, and we want to make sure the kids have a nutritious lunch that they won't be embarrassed to show all of their friends at the table.
Yeah, you know, when I was in school, I brown bagged it quite often, and it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Those were good.
Sometimes it was peanut butter and honey.
A little variety.
Yes, so it was, you know, but as kids, you know, we want to make sure that we're packing things that are nutritious but that are fun.
And that's what we want to do today. So today we're going to start with, we have a young lady, we have a book here that one of our health ministers wrote, and it's Hallelujah Diet for Kids. And this young lady that this health minister learned, this young lady's name is Michaela. She's 8 years old. And somebody asked her, what would you pack in your lunch? And apparently this young lady must be quite precocious, and she knows the Hallelujah Diet, because the very first thing she said was, I would pack a vegetable, maybe like a carrot. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what kind of vegetables we would want to put in here. She also talks about how she would put in, and I can't believe an 8-year-old would know this, a grain product. So whether it's some healthy corn tortilla chips, or maybe some pasta salad or rice salad, or maybe a whole grain bread, this young lady thinks that should go in there. She also thinks some nuts or seeds, and finally finishing up with some fruit. So today we're going to make, in this case, a whole grain bread with some avocado and hummus dressing, I guess a spread. And we'll kind of blend it from there with all the other wonderful things.
So, you know, as we're looking at what we're putting here, we want things that have good substance to it, that feeds the child or the children with both fats and proteins and carbs.
Good quality fats, too.
All good, and we want to limit the sugars, but we want to have some sugar that's good quality sugar. So we'll work through that, and what we have here today covers all of that.
Yeah, kids need more calories. They need the denser calories. They need to have something that will sustain them, because not only are they active and growing, but in their school days, they're thinking too. So we want to make sure we have brain food. Good
brain food.
That's right.
So we're going to make the hummus first?
I think we are. So in this case, this hummus is going to be created with a 15-ounce can of cooked, what we call garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas. And we'll stick that in there right away. Also, this recipe calls for an avocado, 1 full avocado. And while you're doing that, I'll add a few more things, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
2 cloves of garlic that have been chopped. And I'll make sure we get that. We happen to like garlic, but
we do like garlic.
In this case, there's not that amount, too much, so the kids won't get a little overwhelmed by it, and that's important. And let's see, 1 teaspoon of cumin. And we have an option. You can do a half a teaspoon of curry, but if the child doesn't care for curry, you have all sorts of other options. You could put paprika in here, you could put oregano in here, whatever type of flavoring you believe your child would most be receptive to. And that's what we're thinking of here. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Somehow I missed the lemon.
Missed the lemon juice up there.
About 3 tablespoons, or the equivalent of 1 pretty good sized lemon that you would juice. And of course, I would probably just put a pinch of it myself, of unrefined sea salt. We have the water that's left over from the garbanzo beans, just in case this becomes a little too thick and you need to thin it just a little. In this case, though, I think we're ready. You ready?
So there.
Looks good.
Now we have some hummus made. Now it's so easy.
It really is easy. I agree. So we'll put it on the bread. Smells good.
It does smell wonderful.
And we'll put just a nice big amount on this bread, and we'll just kind of smash it around.
Smash it. Well, you know, it's a sandwich for kids.
That's right.
They smash.
Right. They like that kind of stuff. Make it fun. There. That's probably plenty.
put some lettuce on top, romaine in this case.
Sure. If you want, you can add a tomato to that, if they're into that type of thing. If I were them, I'd probably cut it. Because if I were a young person,
cutting it would be so much
I think
more fun.
For a young person, you can make it fun and cut it in this. I remember when my kids, when we had little ones, we did heart-shaped cuts. But the bread was a little softer than I guess. But we did make some kind of fun. You can make them into little diamonds. You could. I mean, the idea is for the kids to enjoy this, and make it more inviting for them to try it. Okay. Cute.
That's wonderful. And you know, we made a lot of hummus here, and that would be enough for several sandwiches.
I would imagine if you have several kids, this would be plenty for probably 4 or 5 kids. Or if mom and dad want to enjoy the same kind of food that the kids eat, there's plenty there for them as well.
It's good. Hummus is good all the time.
Oh gosh. And you like hummus, not just with these, but with pita chips.
Love it with pita chips.
That tends to be your meal.
Or veggies.
Or veggies, stick a veggie in there. So that's an option for you. And now with this young lady, Michaela, in her opinion, a healthy lunch would include the veggies.
So we have some tomatoes, some broccoli here, and some carrots. And depending on the age of the child, you may want to cut the carrots down a little bit smaller if they're a younger child. But it adds nice color and variety to it. The tomatoes, of course, cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes are always wonderful. And broccoli, cauliflower, anything like that. And it gives them something to munch on. And then it's always wonderful to put your favorite dressing in there as well. And so to have a little container with some dressing for them that they can then take and dip those vegetables into, then gives them some variety and some flavor with that.
And if they enjoy the hummus, put that in there instead of the dressing. So there are so many variables to make each of these lunches. These kids have to go to school 180 days out of the year. It's up to us to make these lunches fun.
That's right.
Can I steal a sandwich bag?
Sure.
One of the other things that this young Michaela said was that she believes in a fun lunch, she would include some nuts or seeds. We thought, well, that's a pretty smart
Nuts
thing.
and seeds.
We like them too. That'd be kind of fun. So what we have here we have some pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, and then some raw cashews. So what we would do, and we did this for years with the kids, is we created just a little amount of seeds and nuts for the kids. And what I've done in the past with this is put a few raisins in there, or just called raisins, or little small carob chips, so you can make these fun. And you can have as much or as little as you want. It's really up to how much you think your child will eat.
And if they have particular nuts or seeds that they like, you know, the bulk bins at the health food stores.
Yes.
You know, we love ourselves going to those bulk bins and just finding things that we may not eat on a day-to-day basis, but they really make nice mixes.
Oh, I agree. And you can change those each week also. So you've got some options for the kids that are different each week. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. And then some of the things that Michaela suggested was maybe some dried fruit. And so we were just going to put in, if it's not craisins or raisins, it could be, this case it's dried plums. So lots of different options for them. And the other thing she suggested was maybe real fruit. I mean, not dried fruit, but fresh fruit. So we're thinking maybe just stick an apple in there. If you want to, you can cut it up and slice it and put it in some lemon juice, and then it's ready for them if they're not big into eating the whole apple, or a banana, or a seasonal fruit as well. And then there are always these cute little, and this is a healthy version of chips, so the kids will enjoy a little bit of a salty, crunchy flavor along with the rest of the healthy versions. And finally, don't forget...
And that makes them feel a little bit more like everybody else. So we don't want them feeling like they're just weird. And so it's much better than the traditional potato chips or corn chips. But
it's still
makes
a
them
package.
feel comfortable. Yeah.
You're right about that. And finally, don't forget some liquid. And so we've got some bottled juices, or of course, don't forget the good old bottled water.
And so we take all of those things and we put it into a special package, and it's always good to have something they enjoy carrying.
Right.
And so it's not about what you would want to carry, but what they would want to carry. Something that's cool, one of their favorite friends or characters that they're into on TV or one of their games, making it fun for them.
And every day, vary it up just a little bit so that they don't feel like they're having the same thing all the time.
So then we just pack their lunch and send them on their way.
And boy, Aren't they getting a
They
nutritious lunch?
It's nutritious, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of good variety in there, a lot of good nutrition, and it's something that they can enjoy on a day-to-day basis. So you know, as summers come to an end, and we have now the back to the school, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our kids properly.
We do.
Yeah. So see you next time on HATV. This is AM and PM.